I'm Daisy, the property girl, and today on People to Know, I'm here with
Alex Dunn. Hello.
Hello. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on.
No
I'm very excited to see
on my
this.
podcast.
Yes. So I'm an estate agent in the local area, same as Daisy. Love what I do. I'm really into the social side of things as well, and the media, marketing, things like that. So I've been quite excited to sit down with Daisy because she's very like-minded with myself.
Just a little bit about you then. How long have you been in a estate agency for?
Ooh, okay. So when I was a wee boy and I lived in West Yorkshire, I had my first job on a Saturday doing admin at Martin & Co, if you've ever heard of them.
Yeah.
So then when I moved over to Cheshire, I started doing lettings and then went to Frodsham to do lettings, then got headhunted to do sales, and now I'm where I currently am, doing all the marketing side of things as well as valuation, so it's pretty good. I've always really been into like the creative side of things.
Yeah.
I don't know why, I think it's probably a bit of an iPad kid, to be honest. I was like just bored like designing things. I can't explain it, like you'll know.
Yeah.
That love that natural love and affection that you have towards it. Yeah. It's like, it sort of drives you. It's a really fulfilling thing as well.
Definitely. And I think it's so different now because back in the day, when obviously there was just normal estate agency, it was very much like the new listings were put on newspapers. They were left outside the office. And I think now it's so different where everything is online. And I think for this especially, it's kind of educating buyers but also sellers on what they can do when it comes to moving or buying.
It's such a powerful tool as well. Like, obviously not everybody's on Instagram, not everybody's on Facebook, so you do have to adhere to that traditional audience as well. But I mean, if you can mix the two, then you've got a winning formula there.
Winner. Today we're going to do something a bit different. I'm going to ask you some questions, and then if you want to ask me some questions, and then we can go from there. So as you're the guest today, do you want to start off with asking the first question?
When you were getting started doing your socials and your own growth, what would you say is, or even now, like currently, what would you say that your biggest challenge is?
Oh, okay. I think one lesson I've learned from these challenges is that not everybody's going to accept it and not everyone's going to support you. And I think 9 times out of 10, the people that support you the most are the people you never know, because it's obviously something so different. And a lot of people will say, oh, that's really cringy, or why are you posting, or why are you doing this? But I think once you get over that hurdle of not really caring what people think, then I think you're onto a winner.
It. You got to love your craft. It's like I know my mate's a musician and he tells me that he goes and plays gigs because he genuinely loves it, regardless of whether he's getting paid at the end of the night or not. And you've got to love your craft.
100%. And I think once you find your niche in something and you know you're good at it and you enjoy it, I think then you can take it further. And then that's when people who are the happiest turn what they love into a job, and then they're like all over the world doing what they love. So
that's it indeed.
Great question to kick us off with. Seller question. So right now, obviously, the weather's changing. I mean, it's been freezing for ages. But what would you say the best thing for a seller to do now to their property? So what would you say is the best thing for them to do to make it sellable?
You've got to prep. I mean, a lot of estate agents are saying the same thing nowadays. Get outside and look at your curb appeal. Ask a friend to come round and see, does my house look presentable? Yeah. And it's true. Like it's such a simple thing, but you really have to take your brain and sort of put it in a third person view and have a look at, is my house actually ready to market? Yeah. Prepping the house is one thing, but it's mentally preparing yourself.
100%.
Because that physical move is like, it can be exciting, it can be, as good as you can make it, but there's a lot of mental preparation that comes with that as well. Start researching what your competition is. Yeah. Because if you're selling and you've got number 6 down the road that's got a garage and they're on for 10 grand more, it's like, well, okay, how can I achieve the highest by presentation or whatnot? You got to really find what your competition is and how you can outdo
100%.
them.
You're a homeowner.
I am.
We're currently sat on my new sofa.
Very nice, very comfy, by the way.
And what would you say is the most important thing as a buyer to know? And let's go for a first-time buyer, because I've got a lot of first-time buyers on here.
Hello, first-time buyers.
Hi, first-time buyers. But yeah, what would you say is the most important thing for them to know before they start looking at properties and before they kind of get into the world of viewings.
Learn the process of conveyancing. Learn what
Agreed.
searches are. Learn what the solicitors do as opposed to the estate agent. Because if you're asking the estate agent for completion dates, we can't give you a completion date unless your solicitor's told us.
Yeah, I agree.
So definitely learn into that conveyancing process and know the different steps so you can track that and push that along further. Right, I know that contracts are ready to be signed, things like that.
Yeah.
I would also be looking at, say for example, you're a first time buyer that's moving from Manchester to Northwich. Research your area. You know, what have I got access to here? Like we've got like paddle and things here now. It's crazy. So it's like,
paddle has taken the world by storm, by the way. Just going off on another tangent. But
have you played it?
No.
Oh, it's really fun. Give it a go.
I need to do it, and they've got all pink paddle courts in Winnington, haven't they? Yeah,
Very
I need
silly.
to get onto that. But no, you are right. Researching your area, and I think when you're a first-time buyer, because you literally have got no clue what to do, I think it's good to kind of get a good solicitor and also an estate agent because they'll guide you through that. But if you know kind of what comes next in the conveyancing steps, then you're not going to be as lost because it's a different world out there.
I think me and you were really lucky because we were both first-time buyers.
Yeah.
But obviously in separate houses. But like you were an estate agent.
Yeah.
I'm an estate agent. So it's like.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said you were an estate agent.
I still am.
She still is an estate agent. I don't know. We're lucky in that regard because we kind of knew what to expect in a way because we've seen it so many times.
When you're doing it on your own and you're buying your first house, I think like it's quite overwhelming because you know the next steps and you know what's supposed to happen. So then when it doesn't happen like that, A, it's frustrating as hell, but B, it's so overwhelming because you're on top of it, but it's so out of your control when usually we're the type of people that can control it and we can chase the solicitors or we can speak to the buyers and then the buyer will go to the seller. And so I think it's crazy when you do it on your own.
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because you think that you're so in control of it, and then the minute that there's like any form of delay or just something doesn't go the way it's supposed to do, freak out straight away.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm not moving in. I've lost this house.
Yeah.
Go and be homeless. And it's like, all these extremities.
Please don't be going homeless.
I don't know. But it's all these like extreme thoughts that you go to.
The other world. And one thing I will say, because the English system is so different to like the Scottish system.
Oh my God, I wish we had the Scottish system.
Do you?
Yeah. Exchange straight away.
Yeah, but then it's like, I think in England, there's a constant fear of people pulling out.
Yeah.
And then you get like the sellers, obviously this is all about how they should be managed when they come on the market, and you know that and I know that. But there's loads of sellers out there that are like, oh, I want to keep my property on the market even though I've got a buyer just in case they pull out. And I'm like, what's giving you the indication that they're going to pull out? And I think there's such a big thing on people being scared and preempting that buyers or sellers are going to pull out.
It's almost like an expected thing that you're going to be like. There we were just then talking about like you go to that panic mode straight away, and then again that ties back to the power of social media, because if you've missed out as a first-time buyer on your dream home and you see that home's come back up again, that's fake.
That is fake.
So here we go.
I agree with that. No, that is fake.
I'm saying fate. I've just got a Yorkshire accent. You say fit. I was thinking that. I was like, that is fit. What?
That's hilarious.
Sorry, fate is how you guys would say it.
Fit. I mean, it's a fit situation
to be in. It is a fit situation, yeah, we'll say it.
I was questioning your choice of words then, but I thought I'll roll with it. So.
No, fit, I'm saying. Who's better than me?
Don't worry, he's a popular guy.
Not right now, Grandma.
Oh!
I'll buzz about
You should always answer the phone to you.
I will. I'm going to see her tomorrow. I'm sat in front of Daisy right now.
Yes, you
Just homebody Daisy. How does Daisy get her business coat on, go to work, look after people, manage the business side of things? How do you take your brain and go into that mode?
Great question. I'm quite fortunate. Well, but first of all, I live my life a million miles an hour. So if anybody knows me, that I literally do not stop. Sitting down and doing nothing is not part of my day-to-day life. But I think I am quite fortunate because Daisy outside of work is very similar to the Daisy in work. Right. That's why I get on with clients and things like that, because I'm very me.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, with staff or whatever, if you have to. I think the main thing at work is you're different to different people. So I would speak to one of my colleagues different to the way that I would probably speak to another one of my colleagues, because everybody's different.
Oh yeah.
But I am just Daisy. In the past, I've probably changed the way I am to fit the needs of other people, whereas now I'm very comfortable in me,
yourself,
and what I do, and I am. If you were to ask my friends and family, I probably am very the same in and outside of work.
That's good. You should be proud of yourself for that, because not many people do that.
No.
Like, I could be in front of like a client and be like super pronunciative in my words. You know, I'm very mindful of how I'm speaking, because I can't go in and be like, "Hey up mate, you're right."
Yeah.
You know, but that's normal. But I think sometimes I'm a little bit, and it's natural when you're a valuer to go out and you want to be liked by this person, not from a self-validation thing, but from a, I want you to know that I can do my absolute best for you.
Yeah, but you're not only selling Alex, you're also selling the business. That's the thing that's difficult. It's not difficult, because obviously you're very good at it, but you've got to...
Likewise.
Thanks. You've got to kind of put your business head on when you go in. And I think when you are out actually going to get the business, you do adapt to that client.
People buy into people before they buy into your business.
1,000%.
I've been out to valuation before, and you'll probably relate to me on this, where I've been petrified. I'm going, I know it's a big listing, I've got to, there's shirt and tie, like really, really formal.
Top button done up.
That's it. That, going back to that spiritual side of things, like what's meant for you won't pass you by. So you go in wholeheartedly yourself, and it always works.
Yeah.
I feel like if you try and force things, it never works. But if you, and again, going back to the first question of, if you're doing it just for you, like, you know that it's the right thing to just be natural and be yourself, and don't worry about outcomes, then it always works. I've got ADHD, like diagnosed, and I found out 2 years ago.
How did you feel about that?
It's my superpower. It just stands for Alex Dunn, high definition. That's all it is. No, it's I think if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be as creative and be into it as much as I am.
Do you struggle to concentrate then?
Yeah. But it's like, I can't choose what I concentrate on.
No.
I'm medicated for it now, so luckily it doesn't hit me as bad. And I can really, really focus. When you're medicated, you go from not being able to focus on one thing to being able to focus on 10 things at the same time. Yeah, at the same time, in depth. So you're like, I know what's going on to my right and left. I can type all these words whilst listening to a song, and there's 6 conversations going on. And it's like, if that was me without them, I would have been like crying, like, oh, I don't really understand it, I can't do it.
A lot of people will probably be able to relate to this. In a professional setting, where you are going out and getting business for a company, and where you are very much going out and speaking to people, where you do have to concentrate and you do have to sit down and have a professional conversation. How do you feel now, before you were medicated with your ADHD, and to now?
I felt like the silly boy. I felt like if I went out to go and see somebody and I'd say, oh, I've got ADHD, if it ever came up, I knew that instantly. It's like, okay, he's the silly boy.
Yeah.
Like he can't concentrate. He's
like the naughty kid at school.
Yeah, that's it. There is that element of, and if you're watching this with ADHD, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There's that element of you that makes you feel like you're stupid, or you're not as able as somebody else because of how your brain works. But it's not like that, and there's so many cool things and beautiful things. And if I could go and change it, where I could either keep it or get rid of it, I'd keep it. Aim for the podcast.
Is this a podcast now?
I would say it is. We're sat on the couch talking.
What is it? Alex Dunn on high definition?
Alex Dunn, high definition.
Wow.
Yeah.
That might be the title of my whole video.
Alex Dunn, high definition.
Well, thank you so much for this.
Thank you very much for having me, Daisy.
Thank you. What a formal way to finish, a handshake. So, no, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me,
And I'm
Daisy.
sure you'll see Alex around, and if you haven't already, go and follow him, because he's great.
Thank you. And if you're coming from my page, then follow Daisy. She knows her stuff. She's brilliant at what she does. And you need to keep an eye on her, because she's a force to be reckoned with. She's definitely someone to watch out for. She's somebody, people to know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.